Hey, it's Cavs Edition. Today we're going to be going over a popular Roblox game called the Mad Murderer X. Now, some backstory, how I started playing the Mad Murderer X was when me and one of my real life friends, we were talking about games we played as a child, and I brought up how I used to play this game called the Mad Murderer. And this was before the Mad Murderer was even the Mad Murderer X or the Mad Murderer 2. At that time, TMMX and TMM2 never existed. It was just the Mad Murderer, the first and original one. And that happened about 12 years ago when I was like 10 years old. So it was just quite nostalgic to talk about it. And then we got back on to Roblox with like new accounts and everything, and I just started playing the game again. And that was as of the end of January. And this video is mainly going to be going over the trades I've done to get to the point of getting a Funtime free to play by day 86. Now, originally my goal was to get a Funtime by the 100th day of playing the game. Now, of course, I hit that before the goal, which is, freaking amazing. So I didn't really record like all the trades that happened up to that point, but I've done about like 10,000 trades up to that. And I started screenshotting my trades after one of my in-game friends, Yum, which many of you guys know, he started his own Discord server where people would post about their trades and whatnot. So then I started taking interest in screenshotting and recording trades that I made, which I will be showing you guys today. And my main goal with this video is to show that you can accomplish a lot in the game in terms of your favorite weapons. You can get them all essentially for free if you learn how to trade properly, which is the whole point of this video. I will be going over the strategies behind all of my trades, and hopefully you learn a thing or two. This is all for educational purposes. Alright, now let's just get right into the trades. Now, I have not looked at this beforehand, so yeah, I'll just be going along and looking through them with you guys. Alright, this is what my inventory looks like when I first started screenshotting. As you can see, I had already gotten a pink bunny, like, uh, yeah, I remember it was some sort of like ridiculous trade where the pink bunny was valued at 150k on TMMX values, and I was able to get it for 150k trading like a heavy blaster for it or something with someone that didn't really play the game anymore recently up until that point. Now, I am curious to see when I took this screenshot, so let me just go here into my folder and view when it was created. So apparently I screenshotted this on March 12th. That was one of the first screenshots I've ever taken of a trade, or in my inventory basically, in this case. Alright, and yeah, let's just get into the trade. Alright, going to the first trade that I got here. Yeah, so at the time of, this Axe of Hearts was 60k, as well as the Trident. So I actually overpaid for this Crevice rifle. I probably, as you can see, I didn't have much of the winter event coins yet, or candies. Let's just call it candies to differentiate. So I basically traded him for the Crevice rifle, which is only 100k, because I wanted to make the upgrade. And when you're starting out as a new player, you can't win all your trades. Some of those trades you just have to know when to upgrade. And when you upgrade, you have to, before you make that upgrade, in your mind, you just need to think about the quality of that item. If it's worth the upgrade and you overpay by a little, it's fine, because you know you can trade that item back out for more or better quality items than what you gave up for them. All right, now for this trade, as I like to tell people, or as I confidently can say, most of my trades are of equal values. So this bad kitten sniper is worth 65k, and the Hades Axe Few one is also 65k. So this is just equal trade all around. Okay, wow. All right, so already going into a more complicated trade. Traded a Crevice set for the Overseer Sniper, Valentine's V2 set with the crown, and a pumpkin pet, a hotshot, and ozone. So the Crevice set is worth 200k. Now, all of their items added together at the time of here is 65, 100, 120. It's about 210k. So I only made a 10k values profit here. But in terms of the quality of the items, like I know that I can get a lot of players that don't have a sniper to get the sniper. And having another set here is just very overpowered, especially when it just came out. And the spooky pumpkin pet is very hard to get, so anybody looking for a nice pet like that would want it. The hotshot doesn't really matter that much, but the ozone is freaking amazing. Like I've made so much of my values trading back out these ozones these past couple of months, which I'll be going over later. Oh yeah, so right after that, or soon after, I should say, I traded back out this axe with the crown for the katana and the guardian pet. So this was about equal trade. Um, Nobody really wanted the V2s, so that's why decided to trade them back out for this, just to switch things up, and hopefully find somebody to trade them to. All right, so here I don't know why I did this, but I traded a whirlpool axe for 3 mats. Well, it does make me another 10k profit because the left side is 25k while the right side is 35k. But it was a downgrade of items, a downgrade of quality for more quantity, which I do believe I needed to make this trade happen. Oof, okay. All right, so this basic katana, I hate to trade for these because all the other katanas just look better than this one, and they're all worth more than this one. So I never really buy the boxes to open. Like I've done it a couple times, where I did it in large batches, and I just never pulled like a mythical. My friend actually pulled one, but he stopped playing the game and just gave it to me. Um, so yeah, I traded this for the crowns. At that time, the V2 crowns were worth 15k each, so I actually made a 5k profit. And the crowns actually looks nice, so I knew that I could trade them back out. All right, yeah. So now we get to see where ozones and electros really shine. So I traded this ozone out for a starlight knife, which I made. Let's see. At that time, the ozone was only worth 35k, so I made a 30k profit here. It's because these legacy items you can find the right person to trade them to where they'll overpay for it. So I knew to hold on to them until I found the right person. And I found that person, and they were very generous to trade me a starlight knife for it. Ooh, okay, yeah. So that sniper from earlier, I was able to trade the overseer sniper for all of this value over here on the right side. The overseer is 55k, and the right side here is 100k. So I made a 45k profit here. I did take the katana here because that's a large difference in value that I'm making off of the sniper. And the gift mimic pet here and the worm pets are pretty rare, or at least they were for me at the time of when I still didn't have much in my inventory. Or you did see I did have quite a bit already into 2 months of playing. It was just very fortunate and lucky in my case because I was able to trade a chess club and a checkmate, the free to play ultimates, to get a guardian pet. That was actually the first collector I ever got. All right, now here we got a more complex trade. So this was when the crossbow was worth 35k and the snow elk was worth 25k. Um, I didn't have a golden pan yet at the time, and I really wanted to trade for that. So I gave, let's see, they're 100, I gave 130k for, well, the golden pan I think was 100k at that time, so for 125k back, plus a checkmate, which does make it like basically 130k. So this is just one of those equal trades again that I make all the time. I'm just rinsing and changing the items that I have. All right, and then using the pumpkin pet that I got from before, plus a droplet, I traded these pets for an overseer sniper, and I made a 5k profit here. Okay, and I just bought somebody's guardian for 4k. Okay, sweet. Yeah, somebody wants to trade me their crossbow for my hot shot, and obviously I'm going to take it if they want that. Yeah, and then I got to trade back out the crossbow right after for a Crimson Owl and an intervention. This is an equal trade at the time, and I took this trade because the Crimson Owl's copy count is much lower than the crossbow, so I figured this pet would find somebody else to call home, you know? And seeing as the intervention is actually worth less than a grenade gun, I was able to snag up this grenade gun with that intervention for a 5k profit. And every weapon has its use, every item has its use. I'm able to trade anything, anywhere, I wish at any time, but I've got luck on my side. The trade just come to me, you know? And with what we got here, I have 75k on the left side and 75k on the right side. Another equal trade. Just swapping out my items. I do like any of the snipers better than the katanas, but that's just personal preference. There we go again, trading the sniper back out right after for a starlight gun. So you're trading for a weapon with a death effect, which I always think is nicer than the mythicals without the death effects. So here we're upgrading and making a 10k profit. And then, oh wow, I just got to trade another sniper for a lot. So the right side here is 85k, so I'm making a 30k profit off of this. Not being too picky, just getting the value as it is. Hey, another pumpkin put to use. So I was able to snag up an Electro 40k for my pumpkin, which is 35k. So I made a 5k profit here. And of course, I'm already take that just for the 5k difference. But another main reason why, or probably the main reason why I took this, is because Electros are just so good to trade with at that time. Going on to the next trade, I was able to upgrade majorly with a Crevice Rifle and a Scorch Torch for a Kyber. I kind of just put in things that I think the other person would want and would like. It's when you're trading, it's mainly about the other person, not you. Well, I don't know if it's funny or not. I mean, it's funny to me that that's the main thing you think of. Like for me, I look at every person's inventory and I see if they have something that's worth trading for. Then I will go and trade for that, and then I'll just think about what they want, and I'll put in things that they want, and I make offers that way. Because if the other person doesn't want it, then there's no trade that's going to happen. That's just how it is. Like I ignore, I'll say no, thank you, and then if they just keep persisting and asking me for a trade, I'll just be like, I just won't say anything back again. Like there's no point. People always want what they want, and if they can't get it, they'll just whine about it. What you want me to do? But yeah, it's a 30k profit here, and the quality of the item just got a massive. I just got a massive boost from this trade. And then moving on, I was able to use this Crystal Trident V1, which at the time was 60k, and I traded one of my friends for a Snow Owl, which was I want to say 25k at the time. And the Lapis gun, which is 25k, and a Ysidril knife, which is 8k. I traded for this Ysidril because I was also kind of crafting at the time. I'm going to show you guys how to craft in another separate video, which I will have out soon for those of you guys that are interested in crafting for yourself or making value through crafting. So yeah, this was a pretty equal trade in my mind. Let me know if you think anything else about this trade. If you disagree with me, just comment down below, you know? All right, yeah, so here we got a prime example of a trade that I was able to screenshot at the time of, with me making a crap ton of profit off of one Electro. So I traded one Electro for a Fabergé V2 set and two Snow Elks. And at the time of, mine is 40k. The other side was 145k. So I made 105k profit. This essentially, in terms of value, is a almost fourfold profit, 400% almost. I don't know. Just quick math. Don't know if that is even accurate, but it's just quick math for you right now, because this video is quite long and I want to get through this as fast as possible for you guys. Okay, and now my friend asks me for a Snow Owl, so I'll gladly trade them and swap pets with them while making a 10k profit at the time. And yeah, there we go, confirmation I got the Snow Elk. Okay, and then yeah, the Crown V2 here is worth 20k, so I traded two Mads to get it, which is equal trade again. Equal trade again, swapping Mads for more variety, trying to get a Mad that looks cooler to me, preference thing. All right, and sweet, I had 30k coins here. I was able to snag up a crystal crossbow V2 that way with coins. It's a nice snipe. Okay, another more unique trade. Now, I'm not going to break down each trade too precisely, but I was able to trade this rose gun that has much higher demand than any of these three items. But the base value is 150k, and I got them to overpay, and I got 265k back. So I made a 115k profit, which is a lot. Like, I just made a 15% gain. I mean, not 15, 50% gain, excuse me, off of this rose gun V2. All right, now here I'm trading somebody who the TMMX community really hates on because they make the worst offers ever and will just get mad at your face for it. It's so funny. If you guys know, you know. Yeah, they look for overpays like on a consistent basis, and I gave it to them on that trade. Hey, on a value basis, it was an L. But throughout this whole video, so I do have some of my L's in terms of values in here, but I've only ever taken 10 L's up until the point of the Funtime trade. So 10 in about 10,000 trades. Yeah, I don't know. Am I the best trader in TMX? Well, I think so. Hopefully you guys are convinced after the end of this video. But yeah, I gave 115k. I mean, not 115k, 215k. Wow, 215k for 150k back. To major. Okay, now this is one of the reasons why I was able to get a Funtime so quickly. So I traded a Star Knife V1 and a Kyber Heavy Blaster V2 for the Kyber V1. Now, this was almost a 1 million. Actually, it was over a million. I made a 1.2 million 1.2 million value profit here off of this trade. And there's just a lot to break down on how I got this trade to go down the way I wanted it to go. So I do remember that in their inventory, they only had 3 collectors, and this Kyber V1 was a lot better than the other 2 that they had. And I was able to use that to my advantage. Since I know that they don't have many collectors, and the Star Knife V1 itself is just has even, I would say it has even higher demand because of the death effect than the Kyber V1, that I knew that it was worth a shot to make this offer, because psychologically they would want the Star Knife, and they'll see that they're getting the entire Kyber and Heavy Blaster set back with the Star Knife. And I wasn't sure if they knew the value or not, but based on their inventory size, I was like, it's worth a shot to give this offer. And luckily, they did take the offer. And to this day, I still don't know if they knew or not about the values. But yeah, there we go, confirmation. So I'm trading 3 crowns here: a Gun of Hearts V1, a Snow Owl, Infestus set V2, Droplet, Laphis Gun, Troll, and Red Baller. For a Bat Kitten, Guardian, Commando V2, Fabergé Gun V2, Shiba, Scorched Torch, Irrelevant, the Checkmate and Chess Club, that I do have uses for actually, which I will show you guys in another video if I can get them again, or if I do have them, or when I get them. But yeah, back to the point. So then there's a Rune Dagger, and I believe that's a Paladin down there. Now, I am pretty quick with the math in my head, so I will just do it for you right now, I guess, with the values during the time of. So on the left side, with what I had, it's 270k value, and now I'm gonna do the right side. So on the right side, it's about 300k. So I'm only making a 30k profit here. But I believe when I look at what they're giving me, those items are just so much better than what I'm giving. Like at the time, nobody really wanted this Gun of Hearts, and then if you really do it one for one, like these crowns are these 3 crowns with the Gun of Hearts is about the same value as this Commando knife. Meanwhile, the Commando knife is such an upgrade in terms of quality, and then the Droplet, Snow Owl, and Laphis Gun really makes up for the Batkin that I'm getting, and then the Infested set. Being able to trade that for the Paladin is really nice, because I know I can trade these super ultra rare Ruby Mads for something more than what they're worth, I guess. Then the Troll for a Rune, Red Baller about the same as Scorched Torch. But yeah, I'm still making some profit by swapping for the Scorched Torch. So if you compare these, in my mind, I try to group different things together and then compare them with items that are about the same value and see if the quality is better in my head. This is something more complex that will be hard to learn with so many different items in here. It is very hard to learn this right away, and I will be going more in depth with this in another video if you want to know how to pull off a big trade like this with a lot of items. All right, inventory check again. So I am curious again when I got this. Hmm. All right, I found it. So let's see. When did I take the screenshot? Oh wow! So I took the screenshot March 20th. This was all of these trades literally happened in a week. So that goes to show you how much I traded. Like I already showed you like almost 50 trades, and all of that happened in a week. And I got the dates, I got the receipts to prove that. I was trying to look for someone to trade the Kyber V1 to for major overpay, as the Star Knife V1 is actually more rare than the Star Gun V1, even though they're the same in terms of listed value at 3 mil. Um, yeah, you just don't see them as often. If you're keeping up with the game, you're going through, seeing what people have, trying to make trades yourself, you'll just see that almost nobody ever has this weapon. You'll almost never come across it. So my friend Haxor, he wanted the Kyber V1 when I saw him in the server. I asked him about it, and I chose what I wanted from his inventory that he was willing to trade for the Kyber V1. Now there's a lot to unpack here. So this is about 3.6 mil counting the coins. So without the coins, it's only 3.3 mil. I went with what I liked, and I like to be as fair as possible still. So when it's a trade like this, especially with someone that's on my friends list, I am going to give them a pretty fair deal. So I didn't want to be too greedy with it, and that's henceforth why I asked for this. And obviously, I got that for it. Um, but yeah, so that was another key defining moment in how I was able to get to the fun time so quickly. Like I just broke up my Kyber V1 into all those pieces, and all those pieces by themselves can get overpays. They're all quality items, and some of them, or even I would say more than half of them, you won't ever see when you go into a random server. Okay, wow. So I was able to make use of some of those coins really quickly. This person wanted the coins that bad that they traded me a Rose Knife V2 for my hand pet and 150k coins. That's just incredible. Like it really goes to show you can use anything in your trades and it'll work. Like you'll find the right person for anything. And yeah, obviously I'm going to take the Rose V2. That's going to make me a lot of overpay when somebody trades for that really high demand item. The only time I do ask for overpays is when the item is of much higher quality than what you're trying to trade me. And quality is obviously based off of the demand that's going around for each item. Here's another major trade. Uh, I'm tired of the math. Probably you're tired of the math too. So I'm not going to go into the math for this. Just know that the ancient wand was not getting overpays yet at this time. Nobody was going after them consistently like that. And basically everything in the game um, during the time of this trade uh, was getting pretty fair value in terms of what it's listed for. So this isn't really a major overpay for my constellation, but I took it without knowing that the ancient wand was going to go up so much either. I just took it because I'm breaking it up again, getting more into my inventory, and I know I can get overpay with all of these essentially. I am curious again when I took this, so I'm going to check. Yeah, I found it right here. So yeah. Wow. All right. Yeah. So even all of those trades happened in 2 days. We went from March 20th to March 22nd. And so I got that Kyber V1 into my inventory, and boom, 2 days later I got it out. And I traded off some of those quality items I got back already again for more overpay. So you see how much the value is compounding over and over with each trade. All right. Whoa. Okay. I don't know if I had any hearts yet at this time, but the hearts to me, I think that the hearts are just so easy to trade with. And I really personally love them. Like they're one of my favorite pets in the game. So this is on paper with the value sheet. This is basically an equal trade. There's not really much of a debate. Like the values aren't really that different from each other. But I was able to change my hand essentially for a boiling heart and my fairy wand for a golden pan. both of which I personally believe are better than one for one better than the items I traded away for them. So I traded out this heavy blaster for a battle bunny V1 and a bunny V2 pet. So on the values list, you'll see that I actually lost 5K from this trade. But again, I'm just breaking down my weapons into more items. I'm breaking my items into more items and higher quality items in terms of either demand or rarity. Pet swap. All right. Okay. So here we go. I was able to make 120K off of this trade because boiling hearts are just that much harder to find compared to heavy blasters at the time of this trade. And people's desperation for wanting certain items and me having those items to offer up, they will go ahead and take up my offer or offer up something of much higher value themselves sometimes, believe it or not. And clearly I'm going to go and take those trades. Who would not? You would be an idiot if you didn't. Another coin trade for a really good item. I was able to trade a golden pan for a silenced pistol V1. Clear upgrade. Well, clear in terms of demand or quality. And yeah, I was able to trade that rainbow parrot back out for the heart to get the heart back. Like you know how much value I'm getting off of this. I just made 120K profit off of the heart, and I'm getting the heart back for nothing. So I just made a clean 120K profit, no loss, got the same item back, rinse and repeat. Yeah, and I was able to get the Galaxy Sniper right off of that trade, right back out for another 20K profit in terms of item value for a spooky pumpkin pet, which is so much more rare than a Galaxy Sniper. Like, how could you not? So here I have one of those weird trades that I like to make that some of y'all be hating me for. Some of y'all more experienced traders be hating me for. Or give me some L's in the chat for. So I traded my Silence Pistol V1 for Snow Elk and Tabby. The Tabby 65K, Snow Elk's 25K here. That's only 90K, but the Scorched Torch set is 40K, so that's 130K. Diamond Tester makes it 150K. So with that alone, it's already a 50K profit. I know the items aren't so great here, but it's also because I was getting all of these legendaries and epics as well. To you as an experienced trader looking at this, you might be questioning my intelligence, but mind you, I got to a fun time in 86 days. All right, yeah. So another trade. Yeah. So clearly, if I held the Constellation and Ancient Wand, I would have gotten way more bigger overpays than the Icicle in terms of what people are looking for now in demand. But at the time of this trade, the Icicle can get up to 800K in value when someone's overpaying for it. So I was able to trade my friend these high quality items that I know that he's going to benefit off of too, while I'm going to benefit off of the icicle from him. So it's a win-win trade here, which are the best type of trades. And then here's my inventory. All right, and then I was able to trade my friend again, and so I went and I kind of overpaid for it a little bit. Yeah, it wasn't really that big of overpay, but yeah, they took it, so I'm not complaining. Um, Oh yeah, so just a pet swap here. I'll get into that in a separate video. Also, there's just a lot to uncover with how you just constantly make that value and not lose trades in TMMX, fast-paced trading game. Okay, yes, another one, another W. Dubs in the chat. Come on now. So yeah, 100. I'm not gonna do the math, but I made close to $1 million in profit off of this trade. And star guns are obviously rarer than star knives, so it's pretty self-explanatory. And wow, yeah, at that point, I was basically able to get rid of both of my star knives to get 2-star guns. Now, if I were to stop here and I didn't have the goal of a fun time, I probably wouldn't have traded my star knife V1 for another star gun V1. But because I knew that I was going to keep on making more and more value, and my goal just wasn't to stop here, I sadly sucked it up and took a dub. But losing one of my favorite weapons at the time that I wasn't even sure if I'm gonna get back. But trading a higher value item back out, I probably will eventually get back the Star Knife V1. So it's just opening your mind up to seeing further ahead into the future. Oh wow, okay, another big trade right after that I screenshotted. So over here, my friend Lewis, who I just met, he had a lovely heart. And yeah, I wanted a third lovely heart, obviously. I asked them what they wanted. And eventually, after like a minute or two, we came up with this. And we were both happy with the trade. It was a W for both of us. And then, okay, yeah, so I mean, clearly there's a lot of trades that I didn't screenshot because I was only screenshotting when I felt like it or for the biggest trades that were happening soon after I started screenshotting. But yeah, so here I just got my Star Knife V1 back uh, by trading out 8 different knives. This was where quantity was of the appeal to the other party. So basically, I knew this person wanted only knives because they mainly use knives in the game, and they didn't have they didn't have too many different ones in their inventory. So I told them that I'm gonna give you all these knives that you don't have, and all for this one knife that you're gonna give me. And they were happy to give me that one knife for my 8 knives. Okay, and then going back to my friend Lewis, I clearly nowadays with the constellation going up compared to the rose, I this was an L. But at the time of, it doesn't really matter because I'm turning over my inventory and trading back out my items, literally like within an hour from the time I get them. So it doesn't really matter. I needed the Rose Knife V1 for whatever purpose at the time of, so I just did this equal trade. Another equal trade. All right, here we go. So I traded back out the Boiling Heart again, and clearly again the Boiling Heart is just a better pet than the worms. People are more so after the hearts than worms, so I was able to pull this off. A heart and a bunny, they're both superior pets in my opinion, in my preference compared to the worm. Okay, some of y'all are gonna give me some hate again. Some of y'all experienced traders are gonna leave an L on my video. But I traded out this Constellation gun for I don't even know how much. I'm not gonna do the math, but just trust it was over 400K in what they were giving me. Or maybe it was a straight 350K. It don't matter to me because I needed to break my high value item again for a bunch of quantity to rinse and repeat the cycle and get all these get these get this trade where I'm getting at least half of the items that are at least half of the items here are still decent, and I know I can trade them back out easily for overpays. Okay, so here we go. I got my first Heart V2, I think, in this trade. Uh, Based on values, I took a slight L. But yeah, the demand for the hearts is just so much greater. It's just a W demand trade. I can get a lot more overpay, make back what I lost, just trading for it, making back what I lost. Okay, I didn't show what I traded here, but yeah, another high quality trade. All right, and here I'm trading back out my first Heart V2, and I know I'm not going to do the math again. I know I've said it so many times, but the left side here is under 450K, and the Cosmic Knife. This is going to be my first Cosmic Knife. The Cosmic Knife is 450K, and clearly I had this person as a friend at the time, but I'm not friends with them anymore. For the better. But yeah, I was able to get a Cosmic Knife because they didn't really have many hearts yet at the time, and they started to want to collect hearts and really wanted my heart. Yeah. Okay, yeah, and then I just traded the Cosmic Knife out like a day later, probably, for slight overpay. Hey, wow. Okay, so here Constellation was starting to get a lot of overpays, and there was a lot of demand for the Constellation knife. So this person here, who's also on my friends list, he really wanted the Constellation at this point, and so they asked for the crevice rifle with the Constellation knife, and they literally just threw the icicle at me. Yeah, for my Constellation and rifle, just really wanted them, so I'm not complaining. Okay, and then this was a while later, I believe. I was able to trade a spearmint gun, my first ever spearmint gun, with a cosmic knife and a maple set and a golden pan for the star knife. This took a lot of convincing on my end. I had to talk to them a lot about blah 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 blah. I don't want to get into it. It could be its own like YouTube Shorts video if y'all really want it. But yeah, essentially it took like 10-15 minutes to explain how overpays work and how I explained to them basically how they would make money from what they're getting. And yeah, just explaining my trade philosophies. Okay. All right, finally we got to day 86 with the Funtime trade. So I was not able to get this on video. My friend Yum here did not get it on video either for whatever reason. But I did make a note of everything I traded. So I do have it. I do have it written down in one of my Discord chats with one of my friends. What the trade was and everything that I gave. Just know that it was over 15 million. And yes, I lost all my stars, all my constellations, all my roses. all my hearts, lovely hearts, every type of heart basically, and almost every collector you can think of, I traded away in this trade to my friend Yum for this Funtime that he was able to get from someone else. So yeah, I would say I kind of overpaid a little bit, but that's just me personally. But I think it was worth it at the end of the day. I don't really consider it an L because I'm getting what my end goal was to get um, throughout this journey. And so yeah, here's my comically large gun, Funtime in my inventory. At this point, I got the comically large gun, Funtime with some pets that are still of high quality, but literally the rest was just mythicals, just like really terrible box weapon mythicals and Valentine's 2025 sets that nobody wanted. I was confident that I can make value again and repeat the process, even though I thought that was gonna be kind of hard. I really thought that it was gonna take a long time to make back a lot of that value with how terrible the items I had left were that I'm gonna trade with. But yeah, stay tuned for part two where I go over how I managed to trade off those items, and hopefully you guys see that I made more value again. Okay, so this concludes the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment down below with any suggestions you want to add it to my next video, or just any video topics you want me to cover. And I'll see you guys next time. Consistent effort, Cavs Edition out. P.S. Check out my bodybuilding style videos where I'll go over how to take care of your own health and fitness so that you may learn a thing or two and start today.